Jeff Webb here, Got Blood Outdoors. We were just grinding up a doe that we killed, and anybody that has never done this, if you guys are hunting, I'd suggest you really look into it and just make it part of your deer hunting experience, because it's getting expensive, you know, to go have your deer ground up, and to have it processed in general if you don't, you know, really skin your deer anything by yourself. We do everything ourselves here. You can go get you a nice grinder for about $100, and depending on how many deer you kill, in a season after the first couple of deer, it pays for itself. You go buy your wrapping paper. After you learn how to take the animal apart, you simply cut your steaks out in your roast, and then chunk up everything else that you want to make burger. We just cut up a doe, and my wife wraps at least a pound, sometimes closer to 2 pounds of meat in a package, and we've just put about 22 packages in the freezer of just the burger. You'll see here what we've done, and you can make this look as fancy as you want. We've just wrapped it up in freezer paper, and what I've started doing is marking the meat number, the deer, what type, and the year on my package to keep track of it. I'm just saying, take care of your business, you know. They're changing the rules a little bit. I'm sure it's all about money, but in this day and age, it pays to be able to do things yourself because you can save a lot of money doing this. So don't have an aversion to it. Just jump right in there, you know, and get your feet wet and your hands wet. And after you peel a couple of these critters and cut them up, it all starts coming naturally. We were talking about the tenderloins in a clip we shot earlier. The tenderloins had gotten pretty dark because the deer had been hanging. These deer haven't been up but a couple days, and I think here you can better see the tenderloin on the inside of the back. You see where we are in relation to the deer. Here's his chest cavity. Here's the inside of the back, and Mike is showing you exactly the muscles. They're long, they're cylindrical, and you will see them. There's nothing else that looks like them. This is the best cut of meat in the whole deer, so you want to be real careful when you remove these. And when Mike gets ready to take these out,
Let me go ahead and do it.
You want me to go get a fillet knife?
I can use this on these.
It might make it better. All right, Mike's going to remove the tenderloins on this deer. I think it shows it just a little bit better. Go ahead, Mike.
When you start on the tenderloins, it runs from all the way up in about the middle of the leg up in here. You got to get really right up in there and cut that. And just cut right down the inside. Cut right down through there. Let's see. And cut right down the center of the spine with them. Come right up and peel the meat with your thumb as you're coming around. You can see your blade will be right on the bones as you come up through there. Just keep on peeling her off like so. Peel it all the way up to where you made your cut up in there, and they'll come right out. There it is.
And that is your tenderloin, people. That is the true creme de la creme right there of the meat. It's always been my theory that if I were a butcher and I were processing deer, that this would be the two pieces that I would cut out, and that's what I would make my hamburger with, because I figure they're probably doing 300 or 400 deer a piece a year, and most guys really just don't know what cuts they're getting out of the deer, you know. And so I'm not claiming that all these butchers are stealing people's meat. I'm just saying they get a lot of meat that's unaccounted for. People won't come and pick it up, you know, things of that nature. These butchers have got to be eating some grade A burger, baby. And,
oh, yeah.
And you know, they got some steak in their freezer.
Take out this next one. Cut it there. Take it down. This time we'll take it from the outside of the. There, you just go right down the bone. Your fillet knife or whatever you're using. Like so, you got your meat hanging there. Then you go right along the inside of the spine. Right up through there. Peel it out. There she is.
And there is
There's
number
the
2.
Number 2. Piece of tenderloin.
Clean them off.
Very good.
And I'm telling you, they're
Very
They
good
are
on the
the-
grill.
bomb on the grill, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Just cook
Just
them
lay
right
side
like
by
that.
side. You lay them on the grill. You want your deer meat rare to medium rare, people. The more you cook it, the tougher it's going to get on you. And this right here will absolutely just melt in your mouth. That's all you'll want to eat. This and backstrap after you master this part. In a second here, we're going to do the back side of the deer. We're talking about this section of the deer on his back, in between the shoulders, right about where the neck joins, back to the rear haunch.
Back in
There's a
position.
muscle that runs down each side of the back, and you'll see it. Those are the good cuts of steak. He'll take it out in just a second.
Take this.
Where do you think it runs from,
The
Mike?
back strap runs from just below the rear leg, right here, to all the way down to where the neck joint starts, right there. And you want to clean all the.
I'm gonna try to hold
Clean
this
all this.
while
You gotta want to run that right down the center of the spine, right down like that, and clean all this. It's easier to clean this off now than later.
I got a deer's hoof up my hind end right here. Oh, that's better.
Clean all this nastiness off. Gotta be careful not to. Right, like so.
Basically exposing the muscle.
You don't want to do this before if you're going to let it hang, because that keeps your back strap protected. Then just cut right up in there, and then you've got some bone. You can feel the bone right there's a little bone sticking out right there. You just want to go right down the inside of the bone, right like so, and you can see the bone now.
You'll follow right along
All
the
way
back
in.
of the rib cage in.
And then down here, you want to go right down this fat seam. Just make a cut right in there. And then same with that, you go right all the way to the bone. And you can see how it's coming apart now.
Oh yeah.
Now you go back to this side and make one more cut up through, and the back strap will come right out. One more cut.
Keep the light right.
Go right down through there. Just keep right on going. And there it is. And you just cut it off right there.
Now hold that piece of meat up.
And that's your back strap.
And that's a pretty good chunk of meat. You get 2 of those, people, one down each side of the spine. When you cut these up, this is what we're all looking for right here.
That's a
You can do
nice
some
piece of meat.
fine eating right there. Just make sure you trim the silver part off here.
Filet mignon.
That's what I'm talking about. And put this in the sink. We'll come back and get the other. Just go ahead and cut the next one. I'll just lay it right here.
Same thing with this one. Start up here. There's a bone right there. That that's the only reason. That's why you can only go up that far, because of that bone. Go all the way down through here. Again.
Right on the other side of the
On the
spine.
other side. Take all this fat off. Cut it off. All the way down. Cut that off. None of that's any good. Drop it. I'll go from the inside this time. A couple different ways you can do it. There you go. Spin it around here. Follow the bones. Right there's where they are. There's 5 of them right there that you can feel. You're right on the inside of them.
They're starting to come right apart, peeling right out.
Yep. And just go right down that fat seam right there.
Camera work might not be the best, but I'm trying to hold the deer so he can cut it and film it at the same time. And there's two. That's what I'm talking about right there. We about got her down to nothing now. We've got one ham hanging, and we're going to go in here and bone and go through the grinding process a little bit later. And this is what you got. Two big long chunks of meat. You can cut those into steaks any way you want to. All right, after you get your deer quartered, you've got it skinned and quartered, you're going to have to deal with boning the deer. And it's really pretty simple. You can do it two ways. You can either follow each muscle and take it apart piece by piece, and you may want to do that on your rear leg if that's what you're going to cut your steaks out of. And the second way to do it is to simply just feel. This is a front shoulder, and this one's a little bit easier because you don't have a joint in the front shoulder. It's just held on by tendon and muscle. But you simply just feel where the bone is in the leg. And it's not a rocket science here. Make a cut straight down to the bone. Follow it all the way down to the knee joint, elbow joint. And you'll feel it when it slides off the bone. And then you just simply start peeling. Now, a lot of people don't use these bottom parts very much of the leg because there's so much tendon in it. Go all the way down to the face of that bone. I like to use a fillet knife because it lets it bend down there and you can get it off really nice and clean. And as you can see, you can have one of these boned in just a few seconds. Once you peel a few of those critters, you'll get better at it. And then we'll move straight to the grinding. Now you really don't have to worry much about being neat because you're going to cut this into chunks and grind it all up. Alright, when you get it boned, it'll look something like this, and you know you're about done. You can't get much more off that. Cut it up into chunks and put it in the bowl. Meat chunks of deer. It puts the chunks into the grinder. Just chunk it up small enough to where you can get it down the hole. And then this is part of the end result. You take chunks of deer like this, run them through a grinder like this, and it comes out pounds of burger like this. And this is how you feed the hungry. You got all these deer running around wrecking cars, and the insurance companies would just love to have us kill a dozen deer apiece. And you got all these hungry people in the world. I see a solution in sight. It's not always in plastic, people, but you can turn around and put it in freezer paper, right like this. And it looks just as pretty. So we're going to get to it. Just throw it out in the amount you want on the paper. We try to at least go with a pound. Sometimes our packages are closer to 2 pounds, depending on how much deer meat we're processing. We've got plenty this year. I've got 2 more does hanging out in the garage I've got to skin right now. And we'll show you what it looks like when it's all wrapped up pretty, and we record the numbers on it and put it in the freezer because that's what the game warden wants to see us do this year. Got to keep track of the numbers because the tags are so cheap and they really suck. All the money we're paying, you think they'd leave the metal tags alone? We really love those. You can wrap a Christmas present, you can wrap meat. Didn't take that long.
We're gonna have a couple dough burgers right now to seal the deal with this deer. And you know what? I'm thankful for her sacrifice. So you guys have a great deer season. We're coming near the end of ours on the gun season. I'm gonna go out and get a couple more. And I know there's a couple of people that can't hunt that I really appreciate if I give them a couple packs of deer meat. So that's what I've got, you know, in on my mind. So have a great deer season and subscribe. We'll see you later.